Since we have been together, he has only gone down on me probably 3 times for a total of 20 seconds.
Imagine someone only going down on you for 7 seconds and then popping back up. Hello.
She doesn't need to imagine it. It's her life.
That sucks.
I'm 21 and my male partner is 23. We have been together for 3 years now. Since we have been together, he has only gone down on me probably 3 times for a total of 20 seconds. Total, collectively.
Stopwatch.
So just under 7 seconds per down.
That's not, it can't be a total of 20 seconds. That's like not even a kiss. Up he comes.
No, let me read it verbatim.
It's like he's done
In
one
total for 20 seconds.
He just did,
That's like,
yeah, he licked it like an ice cream, came back up.
it's literally just shy of 7 seconds a session.
Imagine someone only going down on you for 7 seconds and then popping back up. Hello.
She doesn't need to imagine it. It's her life.
That sucks.
I have brought this up with him a few times and asked why he doesn't do it. He just replies with, I don't like it, sorry, which is totally fine. But when we do have sex, I never get anything out of it as he never even tries to pleasure me. We have tried sex toys, but I think he gets awkward about it and then it never happens again. I talk to my friends about it, but they all say the same thing. The relationship is not right for me. And then they proceed to tell me how good they have it.
Oh, that's super helpful.
So dirty.
Thanks, friends.
Your friends are dirty. Sometimes I wonder what I'm missing out on. Every other part of our relationship is amazing because he is an amazing human who I miss so much. My question is, am I actually missing out and what the hell do I do about this? This 7-second wonder.
Yes, you are missing out.
Yeah, the answer is yes.
It is not everything. If your partner is amazing in every other way and in every other aspect, then I don't think it is a fair assumption to say that he is not the right partner for you. I think that is incredibly harsh.
It's lazy advice from your friends.
Yeah, it really is. But I also think it's lazy from him. I think he's getting what he needs out of his sexual relationships and his, you guys, but you're not satisfied. And I do think that in time that will build a resentment there that needs to be addressed. It's okay that he doesn't like going down on you. I mean, it's annoying and very much so. We preach the whole, you don't do anything that you don't want to do. But if that extends to he doesn't want to pleasure you. So it's very easy for him to say, I'm just not into going down on you. Is he into fingering you? Is he into doing any other of the things that might get you off?
You waving that finger around, Laura, when you're talking?
Is he into fingering you?
Like a shotgun? I can't look at it. I'm like, stop talking about fingering and doing the fingers signs.
Is he into fingering you? Said with 2 fingers waving around in the air. But I mean it. It's okay for him to get off with one part of pleasuring in sex that he doesn't enjoy. That's okay. I'm not going to hold that against him. It's annoying because if that's how you get off and if that's what you enjoy, then it is unfortunate. But I'm not going to say, oh my God, it's a travesty that he doesn't want to go down on you, like fucking riot and burn him at the stake. What I am going to say though is that if he is not making any other conscious effort, then I actually don't think it's the going down on that he doesn't like. I think he's just a bit fucking lazy in the bedroom. And that is a bigger conversation that needs to be had. And I also think, unfortunately, it is a tricky conversation to have because he may get defensive. He may feel as though he's a failure, whatever it is. But I think that there is a way that you can approach this conversation that is sensitive to him without being accusatory, which explains that you want more. And hopefully it's received well by him.
Yeah, you don't need to dump his ass. Absolutely not. But there is a big problem here. This is a big problem if you are not being satisfied in any capacity in your sex life.
It's just lazy.
Well, it might not be lazy. She said he's awkward. He might be a very awkward person. He might have no confidence. He might not know what to do. You guys are in your very early 20s. You've been together 3 years. So I'm making an assumption, might not have had a lot of experience before that. So these are conversations that you need to have together because, I'm just thinking back about since I was 18 to now. You learn so much by being with different people. And I'm not saying you have to be, but you can have you could be with one person since you were 18 and have an amazing sex life, but that's because you're communicating, you know what works. But you also learn a lot from being with different people. And now I'm not saying that you need to go be with other people, but what I am saying is he might not have had the exposure and the experience, and maybe you haven't quite communicated enough. But there should be no part of your relationship where you are having sex or having intimacy and he leaves satisfied and you leave with nothing. Like in no world should that be okay. he doesn't have to go down on you. If he doesn't like it, that's okay. You can't make someone do something they don't want to do.
Yeah, but also like why? Like what is the...
Well, he doesn't need a reason. I don't think that. If you do not like doing something sexually, you don't have to do it. But you need to compensate in other ways. Like he needs to be understanding that you are not orgasming and getting off and enjoying sex. Maybe if he knew that, he'd probably be mortified. If he knew that you're not coming, I can't imagine a world where any guy is okay with that, with their long-term partner. Like he's probably going to be shocked. But there are so many other things that you can do that will work for you or that you can try. And unfortunately, if he's an awkward person, he's still going to have to try some things. Like you've been together 3 years, so you need to be figuring out what works. You cannot continue this relationship by having completely unsatisfactory sex.
But also, like you're saying, you've tried sex toys, but he got awkward about it and then never, like he needs to get over the awkwardness. He needs to, and the only way that he's going to get over the awkwardness is by trying things, you know? It is difficult because when you have a conversation about something that feels vulnerable, which sex often is a vulnerable conversation to have, you only build confidence to have more of those conversations based on your partner's reaction. If your partner's reaction is defensiveness, is that they're uncomfortable, it makes it harder to broach the conversation again, right? Like it's not an easy thing to do if you're not, the reception from that conversation is not one that's positive or enthusiastic. And obviously when it comes to having sex and having someone pleasure you and all the things that go with that, you want them to be enthusiastic about it. You don't want to have to be like, so just letting you know, this is where I'm at. And, you know, you saying that you don't want to do this or you don't want to do that or you're not putting in enough effort doesn't really set the flames for igniting like a deep passion or desire in your partner.
The hard thing is dependent on what type of conversations you've had in the past. Does he know you don't ever get off, or do you fake it to get it over with? Does he think that sometimes things work for you and sometimes it doesn't? Because if you've never had that convo, it's really delicate to have it now and say, hey, just so you know, it's actually never worked for me. Like that is a big thing to drop. So you have to be really careful about how you bring that up.
It's funny because I say ask why and you say it doesn't matter why. I actually think it's a conversation. If someone says I don't like something in the bedroom, I do think it's okay to say, oh, why don't you like that? Like what is it about it that you don't like? Because he might be like, I don't know, I don't like it when you've had your gym shorts on all day and you've just been to the gym and then we're about to have sex and you want me to go down on you. Fucking fair.
Of course.
But you can then say, okay, I'm going to go and have a shower and then would you try? Like I actually think the why is really, really important and I think it's fair to ask that question.
I agree, but it's been 3 years. She's not in a gym shorts all day. If he has said in 3 years he's gone down over 20 seconds, it's not his vibe. It's just not the guy's vibe.
I agree, but I do still think there could be a conversation around why, and it may be more telling than what you are assuming. I also know someone who used to say that they hated giving head, right? A girlfriend of mine, she hated blowjobs. We were in our early 20s. She always said she hated giving blowjobs. Then she got into a new relationship with someone and was like, oh my God, it's actually not that bad.
They shower.
No, it wasn't that. It was that her ex-boyfriend was really fucking rough with it and like he used to ram his penis down her throat. And of course she didn't like it. And then that was the only way that he would get to climax. And without knowing that that's how he was approaching oral sex, it was like, oh, that makes sense. And then she had a new sexual experience with someone who it wasn't that much effort. They really enjoyed it and they didn't treat oral sex like it was a porno. So there is absolutely reasons why people don't like things and it can often be based on their past experiences with it.
Totally. But what I'm trying to get across is that at the end of the day, if he says he doesn't like it and you say why, the answer very well could be, I just don't like it. And that's also okay. My point is there doesn't have to be a specific reason. There's plenty of sex things that people don't like.
Yeah.
So what I'm just trying to say is at the end of the day, when it comes to things around sex, of course, it's important to understand it because it could be that you stink. It could be that, you know, but I'm not saying this girl, but like exactly what you said, Laura.
That's so hard.
No, but if somebody's not, if
you have bacterial vaginosis and probably should go on antibiotics.
It's of course, yes, of course it matters, and you'd be mortified. You want to know that, like you want your partner to tell you that, but in a nice way, right? Because that's something you want to work on together. But if at the end of the day, when it comes to sex, if someone doesn't like something, you can't make them do it. Sex 100% can, should and will be worked on your entire relationship, because it's not always going to be the same from start to finish. It's going to change when you have kids. It's going to change when you've been together for 20 years. It's always something that you have to work towards and communicate on. And you are in your early 20s, in your early days of a relationship. So the communication has to start now, because that conversation in 10 years of I've never come since I've met you is going to be a lot harder to have when you're a decade deep.
Yeah, it really is. Hey, you know how we've been together for 10 years? You've never made me come because you're lazy.
Could you imagine your partner telling you that?
Well, I mean, Devo, he'd be Devo, but also she's pretty Devo too.